Welcome back everyone, tonight we're going to be looking at the S.H. Figuarts Street Fighter V Ryu. But tonight is not just any review, we'll be pitting him against the Storm Collectibles Street Fighter V Ryu. But which figure will come out on top? Well, we'll be looking at the paintwork, sculpt, accessories, and articulation for both figures to let you decide which figure wins this comparison battle. So looking at the packaging, we have the standard S.H. Figuarts box design with Ryu on the front, the Street Fighter V logo, and number 1 of the series, Ryu. Carrying over to the side, again the Street Fighter V logo, number 1 in the series, Ryu. And on the other side, we have a nice artwork from the Street Fighter V game. Looking at the top here, we have the 30th anniversary of Street Fighter logo. Looking at the back, we have a couple of shots of Ryu in his action poses, showcasing his optional heads and accessories. On the right here, we have Ryu with Chun-Li, which is number 2 in the series, and some tech specs at the bottom. So out of the package, S.H. Figuarts Ryu stands at about 150 centimeters, so roughly 6 inches. He sports his white gi, red gloves, red bandana, and black belt. Standing both figures side by side, you can see just how tall the Storm Collectibles Ryu is compared to the S.H. Figuarts counterpart. Not only in height, but mass-wise, the Storm Collectibles version is definitely more bulkier than the S.H. Figuarts Ryu. That being said, both versions represent the same character from the same game, Street Fighter V. Hadouken! So looking at the sculpt, Storm Collectibles is definitely more stylized in terms of its proportions, with its broader chest, bigger arms and hands, and bigger feet. Where the S.H. Figuarts, while still stylized based on the actual game, is a little bit toned down, having proportions more of a standard action figure male body type. So looking at the figures side by side, you wouldn't actually think that these two figures were from the same game, especially when you look at the head sculpt. You can see clear differences between the two. Where the Storm Collectibles head sculpt has a more aggressive, defined look to it, the S.H. Figuarts, I wouldn't say soft, but has a more cartoon, anime look to it. Looking at the faces, the S.H. Figuarts facial features are printed on, and printed on really well. Very sharp, very clean, like many of their figures in the recent lines. Storm Collectibles, whilst painted, is painted really well. Very sharp, and also very clean. I also like the subtle shading around the facial area and on the lips. The sculpting on the body for both figures is done really well, with very nice definition on the arms and on the chest. We get some nice shading around the arms and on the chest area of the S.H. Figuarts version. And although not as prominent, we also get some really nice subtle shading for the Storm Collectibles as well. You can kind of see it around the arms, on the veins, and on the chest and neck parts of the figure. Both figures have some really nice details on the gi. You have the rips on the shoulders. For both figures, again, very nice. But with the Storm Collectibles, the huge difference between the S.H. Figuarts is the paintwork. The paintwork, the wash on the gi, makes the figure really pop in terms of how it looks. The grittiness, the grunginess of it really stands out and carries over throughout the whole figure. I know it's hard to see, but the S.H. Figuarts is also shaded. The gi is actually textured, but the funny thing is that the bottom is not textured. And as you can see here, the shading on the gi, on the top half of the gi, is not as prominent as it is on the bottom half. It's like they went crazy with shading on the bottom, but didn't do as much on the top. We get some nice details on the belt for both figures, having the kanji also printed on. It's been weathered for both figures as well. The gloves that Ryu wears for Storm Collectibles is really well done. Very nice details. Looking at the S.H. Figuarts, the gloves are this shiny paint. They've used this shiny paint. It is shaded, but not as detailed as Storm Collectibles. So S.H. Figuarts Ryu comes with some interchangeable parts. Three interchangeable heads. Gritting teeth head. A shouting face head. And a pair of Hadouken hands. He comes packaged with his fisted hands and his normal neutral face. All you need to do to take or exchange them is to take off his hair, which is actually kind of freaky, huh? Unplug the bottom part of his head. Take off the back of his headband. Pop the hair back on the new head with the back of the headband on as well, and then pop it into the ball joint like so. And you also get the Hadouken effect, which is pretty cool. It's a nice clear blue plastic with some white paint near the front, and it also comes with a stand so you can have him posing and doing the Hadouken blast. Storm Collectibles Ryu comes with a ton of accessories, which include 3 interchangeable faces, a gritting teeth face, a shouting face, and all of these are painted really well. Shading, paintwork, everything. We have 4 interchangeable hands, a pair of Hadouken hands, 2 relaxed palm hands, and a kind of martial arts 2 fingers in, 2 fingers out, kind of open palm hands as well. And of course his 2 fisted hands, which come packaged, and his neutral face. We also have a Hadouken blast effect, which you can actually detach, but unlike the S.H. Figuarts, it doesn't have a stand, and they actually attach to his Hadouken hands. But it's actually really hard, for me anyway, to put them in and have him hold it in that position. So that's just a side note. You can also make the Hadouken effect bigger, the blast bigger, which I think is really cool. It comes with an extra piece. I really like this effect. I just wish that Ryu could hold it a lot better than he does. In addition to that, you also get a really cool Street Fighter V stand, and this stand is actually really sturdy. You have the logo as the base, and the parts that actually hold Ryu together, these are actually spring-loaded, unlike the S.H. Figuarts stands, so they hold him pretty solidly. Very cool stand. Hadouken! And looking at the articulation, the head being on a ball joint for both figures can look up this much, can look down this much, side to side rotation. And it's worth mentioning that the Storm Collectibles has a rubber neck. The actual piece is rubber, and that kind of makes holding a head pose really difficult. The headbands on both figures are removable, so you can take it off and actually swivel it and pose it in any direction that you want. Both figures moving their arms out this much, with Storm Collectibles moving his arm higher just a little bit more. Both have 360 rotation, inward and outward shoulder movement due to a butterfly joint in the shoulders. S.H. Figuarts Ryu does not have a upper bicep swivel. Storm Collectibles does, but can move very well because of the ball joint that's connected to its shoulder. Storm Collectibles getting only 90 degrees due to its single elbow joint, while S.H. Figuarts gets better than 90 degrees because of double elbow joints. Both figures having swivels on the wrists, hinges to go in and out. Both have a upper body torso joint, crunching forward this much, crunching back this much. Both also have a waist swivel. Moving side to side and forward and back. For the leg articulation, both have upper thigh swivel. Both can kick about 90 degrees out. Kick back this much. Storm Collectibles Ryu has a much better leg spread than S.H. Figuarts. Both can bend their knees about 90 degrees. Have a lower calf swivel. Swivel in the legs, in the feet, I mean. Toe articulation and ankle pivot. However, the S.H. Figuarts has a much better ankle pivot than Storm Collectibles, with this being the widest stance both figures can do, with both feet flat on the ground. So here we have a couple of shots of both figures doing some of their more iconic poses. As you can see, that both of them can pull off their poses, their action shots really well. But for me personally, and I don't know if this comes across well enough in my photos, but the S.H. Figuarts Ryu does it a lot smoother and a lot more naturally than the Storm Collectibles does. Both figures are actually pretty similar in terms of points of articulation, but because of the size and mass of Storm Collectibles Ryu, it actually hinders a lot of the movement, especially in the torso area. The gi actually hinders the torso joints a lot more than the S.H. Figuarts counterpart. But where Storm Collectibles really shines is its sculpt work and paint work. You just can't deny how beautifully painted, how beautifully sculpted this figure is. The weathering, the wash work, the paint details on its face, all the shading is really top notch and really nice to look at. It's one of those pieces that will really stand out on your shelves. And it's not to say that S.H. Figuarts Ryu is terrible. I do like the shading, especially around the body, and I actually really like the face sculpt. But compared to Storm Collectibles, you can really tell just how consistent Storm Collectibles is compared to S.H. Figuarts. You're looking at the shading, like I mentioned before, for the S.H. Figuarts, there's a lot of shading going on the bottom of the gi. but not a lot at the top. There still is some shading, but you can't actually see it too much. The inconsistencies with the gi being textured, but the pants not being textured. The shiny paint for the gloves, but everything else is matte. Just those, fine details. Overall, Storm Collectibles really knocks it out of the park with its paintwork. In saying that, I really enjoy playing with S.H. Figuarts a lot more than I do Storm Collectibles. It does come with less accessories, yes, but the accessories just work a lot better. And I'm talking about the Hadouken effect, which you can actually display really easily for the S.H. Figuarts, but again, it's quite hard to put in those hands for the Storm Collectibles version. Overall, I gotta say that I like both figures for two different reasons. The S.H. Figuarts, like I said, is a ton of fun to play with, a ton of fun to pose, and it's really easy to strike those iconic poses and action shots with. For Storm Collectibles, it's just an amazing looking figure. Really well done, really well executed in terms of how it looks and how it feels. In terms of price range, you are paying more for Storm Collectibles. Here in Japan, it runs for about 7,500, so it's about $80. And for the S.H. Figuarts, it's your standard, 4,500, so it's about $50. So you're paying about, $25 more for the Storm Collectibles, but you get a lot for this figure. You get a ton of accessories. You get the cool stand, and I mean the figure itself. Just the quality of the figure is outstanding. Okay, so at the end of the day, which one do I think is the better figure? Well, actually, I think they're both great figures. Great figures for different reasons, and I have to recommend both of them to you. But if you're on a budget and you can only choose one, then maybe go for the S.H. Figuarts. But if you got a little bit more money to spend, and if you want something that looks really good on your shelf, really stands out, then maybe Storm Collectibles is the one for you. Storm Collectibles, as far as I know, is a fairly new company. They don't have many figures out at the moment, but it's a company that, from what I've heard, are actually fans of Street Fighter the game and Mortal Kombat. They are the same company that make the Mortal Kombat figures as well. So I would say support them because they're coming out with some really cool stuff. They have Vega and Zangief coming out really soon. I have both of them on pre-order, and they also have Ken as well coming out really soon after that as well. Again, I have that on pre-order, and I will be reviewing all of those when they come out to me. So really exciting stuff. S.H. Figuarts Street Fighter line is kicking off too. Chun-Li number 2 in the series I actually have here with me right now, so I'm going to be reviewing her really soon, and I'll have that video out to you guys maybe within the next couple of days, so we'll see how that goes. But I hope this video was helpful for you guys. I know a lot of you are kind of debating which one to get. Is it worth picking up another Ryu if you already have the Storm Collectibles? But I hope this video gave you some insight and hopefully help you decide on which Ryu is the best for you, because again, both figures are excellent figures and I enjoy both of them very, very much. So in saying that, I will see you for the next video, which will hopefully be for Chun-Li. Thanks again guys for watching. You guys are the best. If you liked the video, share, like, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Take it easy. Have a good one.